Good evening. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin here at 11 with breaking news. After weeks of picketing, educators in Albany schools have finally reached a tentative agreement with the district. It has been a roller coaster, really. Today, in the early morning hours, a different tentative deal fell through. Both sides did not see eye to eye on conditions around coming back to work, but agreed on the main issues like class size, pay, and prep time. Then tonight, just before 8:30, negotiations were back on and quickly approved by both teachers and the school board. Class will resume tomorrow with students on a 2-hour late start as teachers return and get set up in their classrooms. The strike started back on November 12th when hundreds of educators walked off the job. It was the first teacher strike in Albany in nearly 40 years. Stay with KGW for any developments. We'll keep you updated when we find out more about this new deal. Now to North Plains, where a home was broken into and burglarized while the homeowners were out having Thanksgiving dinner with friends. Alma McCarty has a look at the surveillance video.
Just before 7:30, the night of Thanksgiving, cameras captured this car pulling into a gravel driveway in North Plains.
These people are professionals.
Homeowner Steve, who asked us not to show his face, says it wasn't the first time he saw the car or the people inside it. The week prior, those same security cameras picked up this man and woman at the house.
There was somebody that was casing the property. So they had parked here and it was a couple and they got out in front of our house and just walked around. And I thought that was odd. So when I came home, I investigated and everything seemed fine. So I didn't think much of it.
Then Steve says they came back.
They came out of their vehicle to the back, smashed a window, brought the instrument back to their vehicle, and then went through the house.
Shards of glass still cover the floor. Steve still taking inventory of the damage and what was stolen.
A combination of property damage and items taken. I mean, we're going to be around $25,000, $30,000.
The Washington County Sheriff's Office is actively investigating, and officials say they are seeking multiple suspects. Steve hopes the culprits are caught before they can target any other homes.
We have been up here since 2007. This is the first time that we've had a breach of somebody breaking into the house, and it's because we live in a tight-knit community and it's a long enough ways up that it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of criminal activity, but they're reaching out to the outlying areas.
The homeowner told me that he believes he knows who these suspects are after speaking with people in the community and, of course, in Washington County. However, the sheriff's office wouldn't confirm their identities at this time and are not aware of any connections to other burglaries in the county. Christine?
Yeah, so very frustrating. Really hope investigators track down those thieves. Thank you, Alma. Meantime, friends of a missing Clackamas County woman found dead near Welches gathered tonight to remember her joyful spirit. On Friday, detectives arrested her husband for her death. Catherine Cook has the story from Welches.
Susan Lane Fournier worked here at the Hoodland Bazaar in Welches. Friends knew her by her nickname, Phoenix. She was a mom, and for so many in this community, someone they'll miss dearly. Peaceful sounds, flickering candles, and moments of meditation. They're the things Susan Lane Fournier loved about Hoodland Bazaar, this little shop where she worked in Welches. Now, in the wake of Susan's death, this place offers comfort to friends as they remember the woman they knew as Phoenix.
She's always been Phoenix to me. She was a force of nature. She really was.
And just her in this shop with all of the kids in the community, woof, she was such a light. She was so patient and gracious and giving.
On Friday, Clackamas County Sheriff's officials say someone found Susan's body near her home in Brightwood. That same day, detectives arrested Susan's estranged husband, 71-year-old Michael Fournier, for second-degree murder. Susan's 2 dogs were also found dead. Court documents show Susan had filed for divorce from Fournier less than a month ago, citing irreconcilable differences.
She was scared to serve him with paper, to have the paper served to him. She was very nervous about it. She was afraid he was going to do something to her and her dogs, and that's exactly what happened.
Susan disappeared November 22nd. Initial reports suggested she and her dogs might have gone hiking in the Mount Hood National Forest, a pastime she enjoyed. But friends say Susan's greatest love was for her 2 adult sons, Coda and Jesse.
Oh, the boys were her everything. Yeah, she loved them.
Loved ones are raising money to support them, both here and online.
We just want to make sure that they're going to be okay.
I'm so humbled by all of you.
Susan's son Jesse shared how his mother got the name Phoenix, a mythical creature that rises from its own ashes. He says it happened years ago when his father was killed in a car crash.
I remember her collapsing on the ground. I remember it shaking her to her core. I remember her now being a single mom trying to take care of 2 kids.
As they reflect on their friend, many here think of other women who may be facing domestic violence. They want them to know there's help for the sake of Susan's memory.
They could be like the most beautiful, energized, friendly person that you see, and they have this demon that they're battling at home, and you never know.
Michael Fournier is scheduled to be arraigned in court on Tuesday. For now, he remains lodged in the Clackamas County Jail, held without bail. In Welches, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
To the Tigard-Tualatin School District now, where students and staff are mourning the loss of one of their beloved custodians who was killed in a car crash on Thanksgiving. Portland police say Andrea Doring was in the car with her dad and another person Thanksgiving night on Northeast Lombard Street and Northeast 13th Avenue when a suspected drunk driver crossed the center line and hit their car head-on. A school district spokesperson says Doring's dad also works for the district as a custodian at Byram Elementary. He and the other passenger in their car were seriously injured. They're both still in the hospital. People remember 46-year-old Doring as someone who was always smiling.
She was just so sweet and kind and was always around. She was always in the cafeteria during lunches, helping the kids.
Police have not released the name of the suspected drunk driver at this point. Investigators say he was also seriously hurt in the crash. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Portland police have made an arrest in a street takeover crash that killed a teenage boy over the weekend. Police say 18-year-old Juan Medina Dominguez from Gresham was doing donuts on Marine Drive late Saturday night when his car flipped. His teenage passenger, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was killed. In court today, Medina Dominguez pleaded not guilty to charges of negligent homicide and reckless driving. Bail was set at $500,000. In Salem, a man's suspicious death in an apartment fire has been ruled a homicide, and a person has been arrested. The fire happened early Saturday morning on Chemeketa Street near the Capitol complex. 38-year-old Christopher Stokes was found dead inside his unit. Police soon thereafter arrested 45-year-old David Alexander and charged him with second-degree murder and robbery. Today, a Washington County judge sentenced a teenager to life in prison for raping and murdering a Beaverton girl. 13-year-old Milana Lee was reported missing back in May of 2022. Her body was later found in a wooded area in Beaverton. Surveillance video led police to arrest Daniel Gore, a 16-year-old runaway who'd been living inside a tent. Gore, who's now 18, was tried as an adult. He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years for the murder charges, plus an additional 100 months in prison for the rape conviction. New tonight, the Oregon Department of Justice confirmed it is reviewing an investigation into the newly elected Clackamas County Commissioner, that according to the Oregonian. The DOJ will then determine if the investigation has enough evidence to present the case to a grand jury for possible charges. As we reported last week, Melissa Fireside's attorney told us there was an identity theft investigation. The county DA's office told KGW that due to any potential conflicts of interest, it sent that case to the DOJ for review. Fireside's attorney says his client has not been charged with a crime. Fireside beat incumbent Mark Scholl in a November runoff.